Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Sam the Narrator. We are up with another fun video on this Sunday. So today we'll be discussing about the nature of public administration. So basically there are two views regarding the nature of public administration. As we know that public administration is a vast subject. It consists of two things. One is managerial work and the other one is the staff work. Both of them together constitute the public administration, but according to the views of different political thinkers, there has been some changes which has been made. So let's go through them. According to the integral view, public administration is the sum total of all activities, which includes manual, clerical, managerial, etc., which are undertaken to realize the objectives of the organizations. So over here, it means that it is concerned with all the objects. It is not only concerned with the administration, but it is concerned with the manual, clerical, managerial, as well as all other objects of an organization. According to the managerial view, okay, fine. So the first one was the integral view, while the second one is the managerial view. And over in the managerial view, it has been said that the view administration is mainly consists of managerial activities of the people who are involved in planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling constitute public administration. So the political thinkers who are of the view that public administration is just a managerial thing were Luther Gulick, Herbert Simon, Thompson, Smithberg and others. Okay, so according to these two views, they differ in a very they are very much not aligned. They are very much separate on their views. And according to Professor M.P. Sharma, who was one of the Indian political thinker, the difference between the two views is fundamental. Why we can say that there is a fundamental difference? Because they both are going in a different direction, and both of them, if just let's suppose if we talk about the integral view, it will have a larger scope, while when we talk just about managerial view, it will have a very short scope. So according to, therefore, M.P. Sharma has stated that there is a fundamental difference between these two views. Okay, so the difference between these two views relates to the difference between management and operation. Okay, so over here the two words are management and operation. So what is a management? Management is basically concerned with managerial works. In managerial works, we get to know about the policy formation, policy determination, planning. While in operation, you don't only formulate the policies, you don't only determine the policies, but you have to implement these policies as well. So over here, when you talk about India or any of the administrative positions that are governed in any government, then it is generally concerned with operation, and it doesn't only manages. It is concerned as a whole. Okay, so Demock and Queen have summed up in the following words: a public administration examines every aspect of government's effort to discharge the laws and to give effect to public policies as a process. It is a process. Okay guys, it is all the steps taken between the time and enforcement agencies assume jurisdiction and the last break is placed. So public administration is over here, they want to clarify that it is not just concerned with management, it is concerned with the whole of the things. It is not just a part, it is a whole in itself. Okay, so we need to move up to the scope of public administration. Public administration is generally in two types. That is, one is for private one and one is for government. Okay, so public administration can be described through the word postcarb. Postcarb has no useful meaning in itself, but when we expand this word, we'll get a very useful definition, or we'll get a full scope of public administration. Gulick sums up the scope of public administration by the words postcarb or postcarb, whatever you say, which denotes planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting and budgeting. Okay, so planning means, we'll go one by one for all of these. So planning means working out in broad outline the things that are to be done, the methods to be adopted, and to accomplish a purpose. Organization means the establishment of a formal structure of authority through which work is subdivided, arranged, defined, and coordinated. Staffing means recruitment, training of personnel, and their conditions of their working conditions. While directing means making decisions, issuing orders and instructions. So over here the keyword is making decisions, issuing orders and instructions. After that, coordinating means interrelation between the work of various divisions, sections, and other parts of the organization. Over here, reporting means informing the superiors of within the agency to whom the executive is responsible and what is going on. This is the most important thing about reporting. While coordinating means interrelating the work of various divisions, sections, and others part of the organization. So we can take the example of the police department. It has various departments. It has the law enforcing department, it has the traffic police department, it has the crime investigating department and others, forensic department, and all these are the coordinating. They help in coordinating among each other. After that, budgeting. I know as you are studying in graduation, I think so in the third semester itself you have studied much in detail about budget. What is a budget? Budget is a financial document. It is prepared by the government. It is a statement of finance prepared by the government to bring out in knowledge to the public about the financial issue or the financial incoming and outgoing of a country. So budgeting means fiscal planning. Fiscal planning means anything planning related to monetary policies or money, controlling and accounting. So budget means fiscal planning related to controlling and accounting. Okay. According to Gillick, the word post-COB activities are common in all organizations. They are the common problems of management which are found in different stages, different agencies, regardless of their nature of work they do. Okay, so over here, post-COB gives a unity, but it has some criticisms as well, guys. So, what is the criticism? Post-COB defines a sense, an organization in its scope in a very broad way. In a very narrow way, while they don't discuss about the unique specialization that a organization can have, like Amazon. If we talk about Amazon, it has a unique delivery chain which not all organizations have, and over here post-COB becomes ineffective to define the specialization of a specific organization. So a major defect of post-COB is that view that does not contain any reference to the formulation and implementation of policies. Formulation and implementation of the policy. It does not concern or it does not give much importance to the formulation and implementation of the policies. Okay, so now we come back to the subject matter of post-COB. As we know, post-COB is not only related to the organization of public management, it also covers the private organizations as well. So post-COB is public administration is defined by Louis Marinon as public administration is an instrument with two blades like a pair of scissors. We can take the example of scissor. It also has a two sides which have two pair which have two blades, and when we bring them together they cut a paper or whatever you cut it from. Okay, one blade may be knowledge of the field covered by post-COB. The other blade is knowledge of the subject matter, which involves techniques are applied. Both blades must be good to make an effective tool. So guys, this is an important one. We need to have an effective tool. We need to have an effective way to manage the public administration as well as the various techniques that are needed to efficiently and effectively work a tool. We may conclude the decision with the observation of Herbert Simon, who says that public administration has two important aspects, namely deciding and doing. First provides the basis for second. Obviously, when we start with something, then only we can end with the other. So over here, deciding and doing both are important. And at last, we can define public administration as a broad-ranging and an amorphous combination of theory and practice. It is a very broad subject, first of all, and it is amorphous combination. It is not very it is not very much unique. It is very antique in its own sense, and it is a very large one. It has its long scope, so therefore amorphous combination. of theory and practice. There may be difference between theory and there may be difference between practice. So this is it, guys. Now we'll be discussing about public and private administration and their differences. According to Simon, the distinction between public and private administration relates mainly to 3 points. That is, public administration is bureaucratic, whereas private administration is business-like. Public administration is political, whereas private administration is non-political. And public administration is characterized by red tapeism, whereas private administration is very much free from it. Principle of uniformity. Common and uniform laws and regulations mostly regulate the public administration, while the private administration is mainly free from it. Now, we'll be talking about the more important distinguishing features of public administration may be described under the following circumstances. They are as follows. Absence of profit motive. The absence of profit motive from the public administration is another feature which distinguishes it from the private administration. The primary purpose of governmental organization is to provide service to the people and promote social good. Prestige. Public administrators who serve in the government enjoy high status and prestige in comparison to counterparts in private enterprise, especially the developing countries. Public accountability is the hallmark of public administration in a democracy. Public administration is responsible to the public, though not directly but indirectly through political executive, legislature, and judiciary. Legal framework. Public administration operates within a legal framework. It is rule-oriented. The responsibilities of public administrators are fixed by a set of constitutional practices, laws, and regulations. Government officials are obliged to act within the legal powers and not outside the law. Political direction. Public administration is political, while private administration is non-political. Public administration takes place in a political context. Service and cost. Most governments spend more than their income on revenue. That is the reason for finding generally a deficit budget, that is, expenditure exceeding income. Conversely, in private administration, income often exceeds expenditure, without which they cannot survive. Public gaze. All the actions of public administration are exposed to wide public gaze because the public watches it closely. This does not happen in private administration. Lower level of efficiency. Efficiency is said to be the cornerstone of any organization. However, due to varied responsibilities, lack of effective control, less accountability, and involvement of large number of level and job security of employees, efficiency has not been a custodian of has not been of that effectiveness. Financial meticulousness. Public administration has to be very careful in financial matters because it is working as a custodian of people's money. Officials remain anonymous or anonymity. In public administration, even the most senior officials remain anonymous and their identity is not disclosed. This is so because whatever they do in the name of the government and not in their own name. Now we'll look at major concerns of administration is to properly organize men, material, and method for achieving desired ends. Principle of marginal utility. The principle of marginal return states the main objective of a business venture is profit, however small it may be. However, most of the objective of public administration can neither be measured in monetary terms, nor checked by accountancy methods. Principles of ministerial responsibility. Public administration is accountable to its political masters and through them to the people. Principle of external financial control. The representative of the people through a legislative body control government revenue and the heads of expenditure. Now we've been discussing about the similarities between public and private administration. So The similarities between public and private administration are as follows. First one, both public and business administration rely on common skill, techniques, and procedure. The second one, in modern times, the principle of profit motive is peculiar to private administration because it is now accepted as a laudable objective for public sector enterprise also. Third, in personal management, the private organizations have been influenced greatly by the practices of public organizations. Fourth one, the private concerns are also subjected to many legal constraints. Government is exercising much control over business firms through regulatory legislation such as taxation, monetary and licensing policies, and etc. Consequently, they are not as free as they once used to be. Fifth one, there is a similar type of hierarchy and management system both in public and private sector. Both have same kind of organization, structure, superior subordinate relationship, and etc. Both public and private administration carry on continuous effort to improve their internal working and also for efficient delivery of services to people or the consumers or customers. Public and private administration serves the people, whether being called clients or customers. Both have the services. Both have to maintain close contact with people to inform about their services and also to get feedback about services and products they manufacture or they render. In both the cases, public relations help them to improve the performance of their service to the people. So this was the similarity between the public and private administration. Hope you have liked it. Thank you. Please subscribe to our channel to get recent updates and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.